Great to have you along. It is a Tuesday. I'm Jaclyn Whittal, and here are our top 3 stories. The biggest one, probably the fall storm that we're bracing for tomorrow. We're going to be looking at pretty well a washout, strong gusty winds, a potential for tree damage, trees down, power lines down, that sort of thing. Classic kind of fall system. Plus, we'll talk about your Halloween forecast that's finally in view. But I'm going to go chat with Kevin Yard. Firstly, Kevin, do you have your Halloween costume picked out? Are you going to be handing out candy? Yeah, thanks, Kev. That's the only problem, right? We put all this effort, hanging the spider webs and the bats and everything for this exciting time of year, but then you get a windstorm. You really need to secure that. In fact, if I were you, if you can, just take it down, put it in the garage, put it back out. All right, so we have a potential for a big rain event, up to about 50 millimeters of rain, strong winds. This is Wednesday and Thursday. So when does it all begin? Likely this evening. That's when we're going to see the first bit of rain move into Windsor. By about 3 or 4 in the morning, we'll start to see our rain move in. You can see that darker shaded green area. That's indicating up to about 50 millimeters of rain. So that's quite a bit. And once it starts, it's really not going to stop until Thursday. I'll have live coverage out in the field with Mark Robinson tomorrow morning. We'll be chasing this one, and I imagine we will be soaked. Stay with us. Lots more on the way. We'll talk more about the fall storm. Just days before Halloween now, and we have a look at your forecast. It's looking like the potential for a bit of rain, but temperatures are going to be nice and mild. At least it's not going to be snowing. Speaking of rain, I just want to show you the live satellite radar. Do you see that moisture down toward the south? That's our next weather maker for Wednesday. We do have a potent storm in our hands, and it all started down toward the south. So I saw that when I was in Charleston, South Carolina about a month ago. You get a high tide, a lot of rain, and before you know it, the area near the waterfront is completely flooded out. Now, we could be expecting some flooding as well, just based on the amount of rain that we're getting. I'm showing you the future radar here because when you saw it was pretty blank at first, but then you saw around midnight, perhaps, that's when the rain will start to move into Windsor, getting closer to the GTA around 2, 3 a.m. Once that rain moves in, look at how heavy it is. It's not going to be leaving. We have a very soggy Wednesday on deck for us. So we're going to be seeing up to about 50 millimeters of rain. And with all the leaves and the wind, it's going to be a nasty storm. We could be seeing winds mainly out of the southeast. So once that warm front lifts, you'll see winds out of this direction. They'll be very gusty, especially along the lakeshore. We're not going to be seeing snow with this system. That's the good news. All right, scary weather time. So are you scared yet? It's scarier weather this week as we get into Halloween. So kind of like Share Your Weather, where we want you to send us your photos, your videos. We'll get it on TV for you. So let's begin and see some of the submissions that we got. Really great pumpkin carving. I just want to say that before I even begin, because this one probably takes the cake. Look at this. Look at this work. Yeah. Estefania Milla, thank you for sending that in. She hashtags it Scare Your Weather. Trisha Hodder sent this in. Wow, that's an impressive front yard. I think if I was a little one, I would be terrified to walk up to that front yard, and I guess that's the idea, especially that white ghost. All right, and then we also see it all lit up at night. So Trisha, thanks a lot. That's really, really spooky. Great work. This is kind of cute, not so scary, but cute. It's a painted pumpkin with, of course, Mickey Mouse on it. And that's Sean Kelka. Thanks for sending that in at Scare Your Weather hashtag. Another good round of some pumpkin carving here. I always think it's so impressive. I tend to just do the regular old triangle eyes and maybe some teeth. That's about as far as I go. So Scare Your Weather, we'll play this right into the weekend. You can continue to send us in some great shots. We really appreciate it. We'll be right back. All right, we are bracing for a potent fall system. We could see very strong winds and a lot of rainfall with this one. I just want to show you not only what we're going to be seeing at the surface, but also what's going on aloft, our jet stream. You can see that digging trough and some very fast winds moving through southwestern Ontario Wednesday into Thursday. But it's the surface winds that are really going to be kicking up a bit of a fuss tomorrow for our Wednesday. So here's a look at the system. We have a lot of moisture, tropical moisture from what was initially Hurricane Patricia, formed a new low near the Gulf, and watch as this really starts to become one parent low. We have wraparound cold air in through the upper Midwest of the United States, some snow, some mixing, but for us, it's going to be all rain and wind. So we're tracking the storm. We'll be with you every step of the way. I'll be out in the field chasing with Mark Robinson tomorrow. Sustained winds 40 to 60 kilometers an hour. Gusts beyond that. We could see 50 millimeters of rain, and certainly with those winds, especially along the lake shores, we could be seeing some power outages. Stay with us. We'll have the latest. Well, we're going to be up around 11 degrees, and in fact, we're going to be seeing that for our Halloween, too. So mild temperatures for Halloween, Kev, but we're looking at the potential now for some rain. Unfortunately, not 100% on that, but we're watching the potential for some rain. So make sure you have a rain jacket for the kids for Halloween to at least put under or maybe over their costume. At least you're not putting your snowsuit over. Temperatures do stay mild right through this storm that we're talking about. This fall storm arrives late tonight and early morning around 3-4 a.m. And if you look at the future radar, you can see the timestamp up toward the right. This is 4 p.m., 5 p.m. today into the evening hours, and then watch as the rain starts to move in into Windsor first, London, Hamilton. By about 3 a.m., it's pretty well knocking on at least Hamilton's door. This is the system. It's actually two, one that formed down in the Gulf of Mexico, merging with one that's working its way through the prairies. A lot of heavy rain right through the St. Lawrence, snow to the north, classic fall system. The only thing that stands out as not being like a classic fall system is we don't have a big lake effect event on the backside. However, up to 50 millimeters of rain, wind gusts could be closing in at 100 kilometers an hour along the lake shores. Yeah, it's a great system, and certainly we relied on it all summer long and will continue to throughout the fall and the winter. Speaking of which, we have a fall storm that I'm going to tell you about. About 6 degrees this morning, partly cloudy out ahead of the system. Cloud will start to thicken up later on today, as well as the rain will get a little bit closer to us. There's the rain down toward the south, and then there's rain up to the northwest. Those will join forces to become one parent low. But let's show you what it did before it arrives in Ontario. We'll continue to keep you posted on this story down south as well as back home. We have the potential for very strong wind gusts as well. That's a live look at the satellite radar. Now let's go to something we call the future radar. So this shows us where we think the rain will be setting up for us over the next 24 hours. And it moves through Windsor first, London, then Hamilton. By about 3 or 4 in the morning, that's when the GTA can expect rain. And once it moves in, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be a washout of a day. Strong wind gusts up to about 100 kilometers an hour around the lakeshore. So just stay indoors. It's not really one of those days you want to even take the umbrella out because it's going to be so windy. It'll be those days where your umbrella flips the wrong way. Then you just look weird. All right. So through tonight, through Thursday, 30 to 50 millimeters. Tonight we could probably see a good 15 anyway. And then tomorrow's the bulk of the storm. There's the system itself. So this is what the model thinks is going to be happening. This is 6 a.m. on Wednesday. If I play that out, that warm front lifts to the north. Winds will be, by the way, out of the southeast, advecting a lot of warm air and a lot of moisture, tropical moisture. Even though we're not, into the 20s and 30s, doesn't mean that it can't be originating from the tropics. And down in the Gulf of Mexico, that's where we're seeing a lot of very, very moist kind of air mass moving in. On the backside of the system, we have some snow and mixed precipitation and very strong winds through Thunder Bay by Thursday, and then another push of very strong winds for us on our Thursday. The wind direction won't typically change like it normally does out of the northwest, which means we're off the hook for snow squalls for this one, but there'll be many more. Don't go away. We'll have lots more for you. Pretty exciting time of year as our kiddies get ready to get their costumes just right for Halloween night on Saturday. We'll have your forecast details right now in your long-range forecast. I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal. Let's start you off with a big weather event for midweek. Yeah, you can thank Hurricane Patricia for all this moisture that made landfall as a Category 5 storm in Mexico. So we'll be around 14, very tropical-like in a way because above seasonal temperatures with a strong southeasterly wind along the Erie shoreline and the Ontario shoreline close to home here in the GTA. I expect wind gusts around 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. I'm going to be out in the field chasing with Mark Robinson tomorrow morning and probably throughout the day. It's going to be an active day, and then we clear out by Thursday. Some residual moisture, but about 11 degrees, so fairly warm on the other side, on the back side of the storm. Sometimes that's not typical. Sometimes this time of year we could get lake effect snow for days after the storm. Friday we'll be at 9, 6 in Winnipeg, so fairly mild. There's a closer look for the GTA. You can see Belleville, partly cloudy with about 8, Mount Forest 7, and now what everybody wants to know, Saturday. Okay, so we are tracking the potential for some showers. 11 degrees for our daytime high. How does that compare to our normal for this time of year for Halloween? Pretty close. 10 degrees is our norm.